Habari ma Africa, mimi ni King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Asante kwa kutazama King Seso. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some interesting comments that Panyaza Lesufi has made about cleaning their house there in the ANC, protecting their brand. You know what? The next generation who's going to take leadership from the likes of Abo Fikile Mbalula, Cyril Ramaphosa, Abo Gwede Mantashe are going to have a mission and a half in fixing the ANC. I think that if the right people come into the ANC will still be a big role player in politics that cannot be ignored. What am I talking about? I think if the right people get into the ANC, like Abu Panyaza Lesufi, if they bring Abu Mcebo Dlamini back for some miracle way, they will be able to maintain the ANC between 27% and 33%. And even there, at 27% and 33%, the ANC can manage to be one of the biggest political parties in South Africa. The question that Panyaza asks is that the people don't trust the ANC anymore. What the ANC says is not necessarily what the ANC does. That implementation problem that the ANC has had for over 32 years. So now the ANC in Gauteng has to redefine itself outside the mother body. And Panyaza Lesufi is the right man to do that. He's talking right, but is people going to listen to him or not? Let's talk about that, PaseTta, and much more.
We are building exclusive education for the Black nation. We are building quality education without colonization. Africa, Africans come together. Oh, Africa.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Seso. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we're talking the African National Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. There's some few things that we need to do at the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. One of them is to continue donating our 50 Rand. If 50 Rand Jepela that you need to donate to PaseTta so that we can get the house running each and every day. I'm going to send a pledge form to you guys also. Those who want to pledge to donate a sum each and every month to say, King, I can afford this 50 Rand every month. I can afford a 2,000 Rand every month. I can afford to give you guys something every month so that you guys can grow this issue of infiltrating the education system for the benefit of the African child. We will really appreciate it. Remember again, we are still building that school toilets. I know the Minister of Basic Education, Usiviwe Kahube, said when it comes to pit toilet, they've eradicated them up to 98%. It's a pure lie. It's a pure lie. There's so many schools that are still using pit toilets here in South Africa, and we have identified one there in the Eastern Cape that we have said as PaseTta we are going to adopt that school and build toilets for that school. So please continue to support that by sending your contributions towards that school. I'll give you an amount. Don't send anything yet. I'll give you an amount as we are still working with the principal and the school governing body, the teachers component, to establish the price as to how much it is. How much it is going to be to build those pit toilets. We are building 4 toilets for boys and 4 toilets for girls. It is a small school, so that is enough. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody that attended the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture first annual gala dinner. I think next year in May we will be in Namibia, so prepare yourself for those who want to go to Namibia, because the Namibian people came all the way from Namibia to come and support us here in South Africa and we need to do the same. So next year in May, we are going to Namibia. I'm already announcing that. So make sure that you prepare yourself financially so we can drive. I want to drive. I don't want to fly. I want to drive to Namibia. I think that is going to be more fun than flying. Thank you so much. So let's get into this issue of Panyaza. I strongly feel like the ANC, when it comes to rebranding and cleaning out the house, they are mixing their words. The issue of the ANC is that the ANC dropped 17% under Cyril Ramaphosa. There is no way you can talk around that, move around that, or just ignore that. There's no way. It's the elephant in the room. The elephant in the buffalo in the room is Cyril Ramaphosa. The ANC has to be honest that under his leadership, the ANC dropped under 50%, far below 50% for that matter. So you cannot ignore it. The ANC needs to take charge and take that man out of the ANC. Otherwise, those who are going to take after him and after Fikile Mbalula are going to have a bigger job. I want to hear quickly what Panyaza Lesufi said, because he's one of those people that I enjoy making contact on. He's one of those people that give me hope that the ANC can still be fixed. I really love Panyaza, and I was wondering why he was so silent all this time. But let's listen to this quickly.
I went to an area called Marry Me. And I can tell you, comrades, it's not Marry Me alone. There are many other similar things that are like in Marry Me. Comrades, we can't. And this one, comrades, I know it may create problems, but comrades, we must be very firm now. Comrades, we can't have an informal settlement where over 65% of its citizens are undocumented foreign citizens in our own country. It must come to an end. We must be very firm on these things, comrades. And no one must characterize this otherwise. There is no country that can agree that you have people that you don't know who they are, where they come from, where they sleep, what they do, and they are in our country doing as they wish. That period of honeymoon must come to an end. We must be very firm. You document yourself or you leave us in peace. And it has nothing to do, comrades, with any characterization of our character. Everyone knows our Ubuntu, but our Ubuntu cannot be abused. Everyone knows our willingness to work with those that are willing to develop our country, but we can't surrender our country to criminals. And therefore, comrades, and I've said this to Comrade President Ramaphosa, I've said this to the relevant ministers, if we can't formally take a decision on how best we manage this situation, we must forget about everything that we want to do. Our hospitals are overflowing. When South Africans are requested to come with an ID document to identify themselves, they don't have to identify themselves but expect to be serviced.
Okay, let's get into this. The issue of the Marry Me settlement in South Africa and many other settlements, like Panyaza rightfully points out, is because of our police system, our government failing to implement the laws of this country. That is the honest truth. And what he's saying is correct. Comrades, we need to be firm on this. But the ANC has never shown characteristics of being firm. They don't care about those type of things. Unfortunately, we have to tell Panyaza that he's in the wrong political party if he thinks that the ANC can be firm. It's led by the wrong people, including himself, Shem. Including himself. We love Panyaza. He's brave to voice out these type of things. But, you know, that number to say over 60% of the people who are staying into those settlements are foreigner is way low. It's over 80%. There's some settlements here in Kimberley. Here there's settlements everywhere, man, in South Africa, especially where there's mines and where it is close to towns. You find that people are just staying there undocumented. The police don't know what to do. The police don't care. The police don't care. And I saw that a lot of them will be fired. You remember they had a march last month, and they were using state-owned vehicles to protest the police. Because our police is not the police that grew up wanting to be police. It's police that were unemployed and were looking for a job. And fortunately for them, the police was hiring and they went in there. We'll talk about that on another video. So Panyaza saying that this issue of those informal settlements must come to an end. We don't have a government that can implement that, Panyaza. We don't have. You can try and do it in Gauteng, because Gauteng, I'm sure, has got the biggest numbers of this informal settlement. But with this government that we have, unfortunately, we don't have hope that it will do. He says no country will allow that. Well, I know a country that allows that. That country is South Africa. Look at what happened to those 95 Libyans that were found in White River there in Mpumalanga in a farm, just military training. Nobody knows why they are doing it, how they were doing it, how they entered our country, why they were allowed here. Never mind the Zimbabweans and the Mozambicans. There are many Pakistanis, Somalians. There's so many people that enter our country without any reason, and we are allowing it. So it is, of course, it is some farms are also hidden in the statement to say it's a private owned land. Well, there's illegal activities happening in those private owned land. We know in farms in South Africa, especially the big farms, that there are many undocumented foreigners working in those farms. And they have been disguised as private owned land, so the police can enter as they please. So they need to fix those type of things, because yes, we are not xenophobic. And for him to say that everybody knows that we have Ubuntu. No, it's not that everybody knows that we have Ubuntu. It's that everybody knows that the laws are not being implemented in South Africa. Why are you putting Ubuntu into that? Hey, Panyaza, there's nothing Ubuntu about allowing people to do as they please in your house. There's nothing Ubuntu about it. There are laws that must be taken seriously and implemented, and that is why the ANC government cannot implement laws. That's it. The ANC government will tell you that finding foreign-owned currencies under a sofa is something that we need to forget about. We don't need to address. That's the ANC government. So I mean, what is it that the ANC want from us? So it's a big ask, ladies and gentlemen. And also the issue of foreigners going to hospitals and not being turned away. And us as South Africans being turned away. I don't know how true that is. There was a time where I was in Mpumalanga with my family, and my little child, my daughter, got diarrhea, and we went to a clinic. We did not have her documents and her clinic card. The mother forgot them in Kimberley, or left them in Kimberley for benefit of a doubt. When we got there, they never turned us away at the clinic. Yes, you have to get formally be identified to get in a clinic and whatever, but they just made a card for us. We gave them the name, the same name, the date of birth and whatever, and we were helped. The foreigners are also being helped, but they are helped because the law says they must be helped. So Panyaza cannot change the law by just speaking to the ANC cadres. No, the law must be changed in Parliament. Parliament must rule to say what is it that they need to do with undocumented people that come to hospitals. That's it. It has nothing to do with xenophobia. It's about respecting yourself as a political party. And if you don't, as a country, if you don't, then don't try, because the ANC is all inclusive. All African people must come to South Africa, and South Africa belongs to everybody who lives in it, legally or illegally. As long as they found themselves here, they've got a right to life, a right to freedom of speech, a right to hospital care. That's the rights that they get just for being in the borders of South Africa. So I want us to listen to more of what Panyaza says, but there is no decision that the ANC is going to take about informal settlement, because I I think we have the capacity in terms of the police, in terms of the numbers. If they had to concentrate every day and formally deal with informal settlement, I think they will be able to. But the problem of the informal settlement is intertwined with the issue of our borders. So it's not easy to just take people, deport them, and our borders is yavuza. People are coming in as they please. Bafit. South Africa. Let's listen to what Panyaza was saying also about cleaning the house of the ANC. Are they really going to do it? Listen to this.
The issue of VAT, let's be honest, even if it's a matter that our South Africans feel that is unaffordable, the reason why they've rejected it in the manner that they've rejected is mistrust. That they don't trust that the state will be in a position to acquire these extra funds and utilize them for appropriate things that they feel that needs to be attended. And that is why we are of the strong view that we have to clean our house first. We have to ensure that what we do it. But also we've got quality members that can be trusted, because trust goes with leadership, goes with the messenger. So if you can't trust the message itself and the messenger, then it's a double jeopardy that we need to rectify. And the last 2 days, we went painstakingly going through areas that we honestly feel that we need to attend. The first one is that we are just like any other service provider, either Vodacom or Woolworths and other things. So we need to protect the brand, clean the brand, and also we need to have a message that our people can accept and trust that particular message. But it's a long way, and I'm quite excited that we did this Lekgotla now, after the national Lekgotla, so that we can learn from those particular mistakes and attend them. And other issues that people have raised that we've ignored, you might be aware, the issue of foreign nationals have been raised by many structures and many communities, and we're absent as the African National Congress in that space. And the reality is that issue needs our immediate attention. So it's within those things of disconnecting with our communities and disconnecting with their needs that have harmed brand ANC. And that is why we are of the strong view that the Lekgotla gave us an opportunity to reflect and to reposition ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's true. South Africans don't trust the ANC anymore. It's going to take so much for South Africans to trust the ANC anymore. Now, personally, as long as Cyril Ramaphosa is there, as long as Fikile Mbalula is in the forefront, I will never take the ANC serious. That is their problem in the ANC. When they say they've got strong leaders that can lead, who are those leaders, Panyaza? Who are those leaders in the ANC? Because even yourself, Panyaza, we believe in you, we love you, but there is a but. You know, there's a but also, because we have seen the work that you can do when you were the MEC of sports. We have seen that Panyaza, he can roll his sleeves and get the work done. But there's a but. I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm saying. This issue of saying they need strong leaders, they need to clean the house. Well, you need to kick out Cyril Ramaphosa. There's no cleaning the house. Or cleaning what house? As long as those people are there, Panyaza, there's nothing that you guys can do that will make voters gain confidence in the ANC. Nobody. They've shown you, 17% has shown you. And they are going nowhere. They're going to stay there in the MK. They're going to stay there in the EFF. They're going to stay there in the DA. They stay there in the Patriotic Alliance. Everywhere. They're going to stay there. The people have shown you they don't believe in the ANC. And 17%. You are still keeping the same leader. So it's either if you're talking about you need to protect the brand against Cyril Ramaphosa and the infiltration that is happening in the ANC. You guys know the ANC leadership are walking around knowing that a conference was bought. They know that a conference documents, account details of how and who funded the CR7 campaign. It was sealed. What type of conscience do you have as a leader sitting in the ANC knowing that a conference was bought from outsiders? A number is flying around to say allegedly is 1 billion. Now, we don't know how true that is. I want to who know what happened there is the former protector Abu Busisiwe Mkhwebane and all of the judges that made sure that they sealed those documents. Oh, ngathi ngahlala no Busisiwe Mkhwebane angihlebele nje phela ukuthi what happened there. Angihlebele nje phela. But for a mere fact that documents and account details were sealed, it's enough for us to know that there's names that we are not supposed to know about there. There are names of people who funded the CR7 campaign that we are not supposed to know about. Sealed for what? Sealed for what? And we still have an incompetent current public protector, Sister Koleka, who is just there protecting Ipalapala. A disgrace of a public protector. But sisabona ukuthi kuzayenzakalani in the future. Again, he touched the issue of the informal settlement. There's nothing that they're going to do on that regard. There's nothing that they can do. There's nothing that they can do as the ANC. So Abu Panyaza will listen to them. We will make videos about Panyaza because there's a little nyana hope in characters like Abu Panyaza. There's a little bit of honorableness in them. There's a little bit of boldness in them. It's not enough, but it's there. So we don't want to talk bad about all the ANC members, but as long as they keep that leadership at the top there. Look what is happening in the ANC. People are fighting physically. Bayamurana nje phela. Hlangane meeting, ngiyamurana KZN, ngiyamurana Gauteng. They are just fighting because the house is getting out of order and people want to secure their seats for the last time. It's like this is not the last bunch that is going to eat. There's still going to be the last bunch because the ANC is going to fall somewhere in the 30s, and you can still be a premier, you can still be a mayor, you can still be an MEC, you can still be all of those other positions. So people are fighting to be in the list there in the ANC. It's embarrassing what is happening in the ANC. But anyway, you guys will tell me what you think on the comment section. Thank you so much. Fresh manje. I'm recovering. I have some work to report to at work. They said Wednesday they wanted. So my Wednesday is going to be busy. But I'm going to try and make another video. I'm going to try and make another video for you guys to see. I did go to collect the footages and the pictures of the gala dinner. Yeah, the footage expected maybe next week, but I will share with you guys the beautiful pictures of all the people that came from all around South Africa and all around Africa to come and enjoy the gala dinner, the presentation and everything. Thank you so much for that support. Thank you so much, guys. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. But after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace and Pan-Africanism. I salute you.